If you've read the comics for Invincible, the first thing you will notice is damn, they took some liberties when adapting this. Not a bad way though. This show is handled in such a way that it creates new content and changes things so much that a person who has read the comics can discover new content. Today we're going to go through the content and see which scenes happened in Invincible Season 1 but are nowhere to be seen in the comics. And I am focusing on the content that I feel like made major changes to the story. The Guardians introduction. The introduction with the Guardians of the Globe is totally TV exclusive. In the comic books, all you ever see about the Guardians is their introductions. Think the end of episode 1. That's literally all we know about them. The fight that Omni-Man has with the Guardians is all TV exclusive too. In the comics, it's just 2 pages and he takes care of them super fast. I am of the belief they made this change to show how much of a threat and good team the Guardians were. This version of the Guardians, it makes sense why Omni-Man would ambush them. He barely makes it out alive, so in my head I'm like, oh yeah, they had to go. If you try taking over with them in tip-top shape, I don't think we would have an Omni-Man at all. Heck, in the comics, he handled them so quickly you'd think, was there a need? But here, you can clearly see that these guys were a problem. The Flaxons attacked an Omni-Man. In the show, the Teen Team handled the first Flaxon invasion, so that's TV exclusive. In the comics, the first invasion is handled by Mark and Omni-Man, and at the end of the Flaxon invasion, they kidnap Omni-Man and he eventually leads a revolt on the home planet as he escapes. This means that the scene where Omni-Man destroys the Flaxon's planet is very much a TV thing too. Even how he escaped is totally different. And while I would have loved to see the revolt, I think this moment makes the change worth it.
Earth isn't yours to conquer.
That sends chills down my spine, and it helps build up this uncomfortable feeling we have around Omni-Man and his eventual betrayal of Earth. Titan. In the comics, all we get is Mark meeting Titan and they go straight to fight Machine Head. In the show, we get an entire backstory. Titan doesn't harm the security guards. He helps the people in the neighborhood get to safety and tries to leave the partnership with Machine Head. You get this picture of, man, what a good guy. You believe he actually doesn't want to be here, but he has no choice. Then we get introduced to his family, which does not happen in the comics, especially this scene.
We're not out, are we?
Nessa, it's not that simple.
Don't.
I think adding this is so great because it makes his rise to the top hit so much harder. In a comic, it's a shock too, but in the show, it's like, bro, I thought you were different. It makes him such a great subversive antagonist. In the comics, he seems more brawn than brain, but in the show, he actually has smarts and intelligence that make him a threat. DEA versus Omni-Man. Can't believe Where's Mark William is a show exclusive. The entire DEA versus Omni-Man battle is entirely within the show. The scene where Omni-Man takes out the soldiers, the scene where Donald makes his sacrifice, and the scene where he gets nuked, the chase with Cecil. In the comics, none of that happens. Cecil only shows up after Omni-Man leaves in effort to recruit Mark. To be honest, in the comics, the DEA aren't even aware that Omni-Man is suspicious. He's not even a suspect. They found out everything during his fight with Mark and his fight with the Immortal. I personally think they did this because it makes the DEA look more competent. From what we know about the government, it is weird that they would have all this intelligence and not once think Omni-Man is an issue. And you know what? It's a preferred change. Debbie. A lot of what happens with Debbie is show exclusive. In the comics, she's way more passive of a character. The scene that's really important is the make me scene.
Does that make you feel strong? To know I can't physically make you do something? Is that what you need?
So juicy. In the show, we see what makes Debbie so great, and that is her emotional intelligence. She sees that Mark is struggling and assures him that she is also struggling with the change and everything that's happening. And you know what? He is actually enough and he doesn't have to be another Omni-Man. You understand how she can be the wife of someone like Omni-Man. When Omni-Man says, I think I miss my wife, you get it. Who wouldn't miss a woman like this? Also, I think this moment is the scene that makes Mark not change. This is the scene that makes Mark think, oh, I can be my own person. I don't have to follow in my dad's footsteps. I think that's super important towards the latter episodes of season 1. Also, in the comics, Debbie finds out with the rest of the world that Omni-Man is the villain. But in the show, they give her these scenes where she finds out little by little that her husband is not who he pretends to be. She meets with Dark Blood, She finds his clothing and gets them tested with art. She confronts Omni-Man. It harkens back to my point about her being more of a character. In the show, she's not so passive. She helps move things along. Damian, Darkblood. We need to address the elephant in the room. Since the DEA and Debbie didn't know about Omni-Man in the comics, that means someone else wasn't on their tail. In the comics, Damian is absolutely lost and doesn't know what's going on. But in the show, they give him the scene at the funeral with Omni-Man. There's the scene where he arouses Debbie's curiosity, the scene where he confronts Omni-Man.
Won't give up, Nolan. Can't hide truth. Wife already suspects.
And the scene where Cecil even banishes him away. In the comic, he doesn't even figure out what the heck is going on. It's the running joke in there. I definitely prefer this portrayal, as it seems like they're planning something super big with his character in the show. Also, he's more competent and feels less like a gag character. He added so much suspense. You kept thinking, wait, is this guy gonna figure it out? Is Omni-Man gonna get caught? He was insanely good in the show. Amber. I don't really enjoy talking about Amber, but we got a job to do. The scene where the bully hits on Amber and then she later uses the same bully to give her number to Mark is show exclusive. In the comic, she just walks up to Mark and gives it to him, which makes more sense since she's portrayed as this strong-willed woman. I see her doing that more than anything else, especially using another person like a bully. The soup kitchen scene is also exclusive. In fact, I would argue that she and Eve being this close is more of a show thing. In the comics, Amber is actively trying to steal Mark away from her. The scene at college where she tells Mark that she's disappointed. Yeah, that is show exclusive too. In the comics, when Mark went to this college, her and Mark were not a thing.
Eve was wrong about you.
She shows up way later in the story. And of course, the reveal went different in the comics. In the show, she berates Mark for waiting so long. But in the comics, she's just gassed that she finally knows what's going on. I am personally on the side that these scenes should not have happened, and she should have remained the same character as she was in the comics. Robot. In the show, they build up Robot's desire for Monster Girl differently. The scene where she performs surgery on her, the scene where he goes to the ends of the world to find the plant that has the exact chemical she needs for survival, all show exclusive. I am cool with this. You get to see how much Robot cares, but looking back, this is where they start teasing that Robot isn't a robot, or at the very least, he's not a normal one. Black Samson even questions his entire deal, and honestly, I should have caught it. I'm mad at myself that I didn't. And that's it, to be honest. Those are the major changes that I think made the most difference to the show for season 1. I personally feel like besides the Amber deal, I'm happy with all the changes. But what about you? You think they did the right thing with adding these scenes, or would you prefer they stayed in line with the comics? Also, let me know if I should do season 2 and 3.